Hi everyone, welcome back to Sunday League Champions League. Chris here, aka Big Will, and today we've got two league games for you: away against Boston and at home against Woking. We do have an FA Trophy tie in the middle of that. It's a competition I'm not particularly bothered about, so we will have full focus on the league. As you can see by the league table in that bottom right hand corner, we have dropped down the table somewhat. We are now sat in 6th place, and as I suspected, that really tough run of games in November has seen us have a bit of a drop off in form. We, after the defeat to Southend, we drew 2-2 against Halifax, and then we had a phenomenal result against Cheltenham of a 5-2 win in which Tony Weston managed to bag 4 goals. We then lost 1-0 away in a very hard fought game against Sutton, in which again we created a lot of opportunities. It just didn't quite work out for us. A 3-2 defeat at home to league leaders Morecambe in a game that we were 3-0 down at half time. We did fight our way back toward the end of the second half, but just couldn't find that final goal. And then since then, 2-1 draws, one away against Rochdale and one at home against Scunthorpe. So one win in our last 7 games isn't ideal. The board have offered me a new 2-year contract. I have rejected the approach for now because, as I said before, I don't know what's happening in terms of the coaching courses or anything like that. Um, we haven't been approached by any other clubs or anything like that either, but I have had a look at the jobs market and I have actually applied for a job with a League One club. Based on reputation and such, they are a similar reputation to myself as a manager. Obviously, I think the thing that will go against me on that note would be the fact that obviously I haven't got that many coaching badges behind me as things stand. So I highly doubt I'll get the job. I've gone for it just to see what kind of stage we are at. Obviously, I have built a bit of a reputation having won the National League North and currently in a playoff shout in the National League. So there's still a lot to go through as things sit, but for now, we are still fully concentrating on the National League with Curzon Ashton, and hopefully we can get back to winning ways today. It's been a tough run of games, as I mentioned before. Boston are also in very good form at the moment, so I'm not entirely sure if we'll get a good result in this one. But if we do struggle against Boston, but we can get a good result against Kettering in the FA Trophy, that could spearhead us to start getting back to winning ways for the coming league games. So we'll see how things go as we enter this game against Boston. Incidentally, our goalkeeper Cooney has made his under 21s debut for Republic of Ireland. So we've actually got a current under 21 international in the side, which is um, a sign of how things are going realistically. We've got some really good young players in and they are developing their games. So hopefully we can get some more good news like that along the way. A couple of our key players are attracting interest from other clubs, likes of Chris Crooks is again attracting interest. And of course, with his current run of form, Tony Weston is also attracting interest still as well. So going into this game, obviously, we want to make sure that we get the 3 points. We need to get back to winning ways if we want to maintain this playoff push. But as I suspected, that run of games in November has seen us have a bit of a drop off recently. We have fought to get the 2 draws in the last 2 games, but we need to try and just give it an extra push for this match against Boston and try and get 3 points on the board. Um, in terms of team morale, it's still not too bad. We're still looking reasonably solid. Um, but we do need to just try and build that momentum up again to try and cement ourselves in a potential playoff place. Um, I did have a look at the season preview as well. Obviously, I think it was the last episode in which I mentioned that I wasn't too sure about where we were going to be predicted to finish. And with the quality of the squad, they actually predicted us to finish around mid-table, which obviously the board just wanted us to avoid relegation. So from that perspective, um, we'd be winning either way, realistically. But I simply wanted to not be in a relegation fight for this season. And obviously, we've gone way above that so far in this campaign. And I think with the number of points we've already got on the board, I think that that is something that we can pretty much safely say isn't going to be a problem, as Charlie has been caught in possession there. And Drury gets into the penalty area and has managed to sneak it in at the near post. It's poor goalkeeping and very poor from Charlie to lose possession where he did. And it is 1-0 after 1 minute here to Boston. Reiki playing it into Drury, and just no commitment in the challenges there from Bakari, and it's actually clipped both posts on its way in, incidentally. I didn't realise it clipped the post on its way in, but it's hit both posts, and Boston take a very early lead. And again, in terms of the way that we've been playing recently, we need to just try and pick ourselves up a little bit. We do have the quality in the team. We've already proven that throughout the course of the season. We just need to try and find that confidence again as Charlie finds Dembele back into Charlie. Malachi Sharp swings it in. Maguire heads it only as far as Emerson. Played it back to Charlie Weston. And we do get an equaliser on the 10th minute. It was really well worked in the end. Somewhat fortunate that it fell for Emerson on this left-hand side following the deflection on Malachi Sharp's cross. But he did really well. He laid it back for Charlie Weston, pretty much on a play. He had the space to strike, and he found the gap in the defence to equalise. And this is the kind of resilience we need. We need to be pushing. And of course, Charlie has been here since the first season as well. So, of course, he's pretty much been a mainstay in this team since we came into the club. And he's showing us why we still maintain his selection. Here is Emerson into Charlie. Crooks across to Bakari. Of course, the other thing with Charlie is it was him that got caught in possession for the Boston goal. So he's very much made amends for that. But again, this time it's Malachi Sharp that's been caught in possession from Carson. And again, they flooded forward. And at the near post, again, this time it was Sutton. And luckily, this time, Cooney managed to get a touch on it to keep it to go wide. And again, a little bit lax on that right-hand side from our perspective. That's twice we've given the ball away, and twice they've managed to break on their left. So just need to be a little bit more wary here. Dembele, good pass, and Hugh Parker controls it well, but it's a poor pass. And Emerson luckily managed to get in on Sorinola, and Lindsay's picked it up. And now Emerson back into Lindsay. Chance to get it into the penalty area. It's taken a deflection, but it's fallen for Charlie, and it's just clipped the foot of the post there and gone wide. It remains one apiece, but that was a good chance from our perspective in what has again been quite an even game. But the thing is, in the games that we lost in that tough run, we had a good amount of chances as well. It was a similar story as the game that you saw in the previous episode against Southend. We had the chances, we just couldn't find the finishing. And Hugh Parker has gone a little bit quiet at times. And since Tony Weston scored those 4 goals against Cheltenham, he's been a little bit hit and miss as well. But that's a great effort on the volley there as it curls just wide of the far post. But that was another really well-worked move from our perspective. We are fighting for it. We are playing well. Hugh Parker, I've noticed, has taken a bit of a knock here. We'll see it through till half-time and see how he gets on. Obviously, we haven't had pretty much any injuries over the course of the campaign so far. But this could, I'm hoping we can get back to winning ways today. We'll tell the lads to keep working hard until full time. It's been a very even game, but tactically, of course, potential thigh injury for Hugh Parker. So we'll get Stockley on for him. It's pretty much a straight swap, the two big lads. Hopefully Stockley can come in and put in a good performance. He has actually scored his first goal for us as well, Stockley. I can't remember if that was in and around the previous episode or not, but he is off the mark. He no longer wants to leave the club. He withdrew his transfer request not long after he requested it because we were giving him a little bit extra game time off the bench and such, and his squad role, of course, was reduced as well. So he could still have a part to play this season. Emerson with the header on, easily cleared and picked up by Tasker. Now Sorinola back to Tasker again. Sorinola again coming down this right hand side for Boston. Chance to get it into the penalty area. Emerson not committing to a challenge, and he needs to be doing better there. And it's a fantastic cross. I mean, it's a good header from Norkit as well, but that is poor again from Emerson. He's got to be putting the challenge in there. I mean, he just tracked him and tracked him and tracked him. He went to try and go in for it, and he wasn't too sure. And he's whipped that in. It's a superb cross. I mean, Cooney, no man's land, realistically, he should have done a little bit better positional wise, but Norkit with a really good header. But what a ball into the box that was from Sorinola. And Boston, arguably deservedly, take the lead. They've had more attempts on target than we have, and we're not really looking at it again here. As Carson has the corner here for Boston, swung in. We do manage to get it clear through Chris Crooks, and now Lee Evans can't get there, and Maguire laying it back to Lancashire, and now Sutton into Small, back to Lancashire again, and luckily nothing comes from it. 20 odd minutes to go with Malachi Sharp's taking a knock now as well. This is getting a little bit concerning. Palmer's going to come on for him. Little bit of frustration coming into the team as well. Anxiety in the defence as well, which isn't ideal. Yestin Hughes is going to come on for Dembele. We're going to take the youngster Crooks off as well for Bruder, just try and get a little bit more experience in that central defence. And then we're going to get Murray Holm on in the central midfield for Charlie as well. And hopefully we can find a way to drag ourselves back into this game. They've been the better team, definitely. And I think it's going to be one of them scenarios where we just need to try and ride this out a little bit and just try and find a way to get back to winning ways. As Norkit again wins a header at the far post, and again defensively very suspect there. Lancashire with the delivery this time, and Norkit has completely ruined us. I mean, the clearance was made and no one was tracking Lancashire coming back into the game. And good movement from Norkit, swung into the far post, and he wins the header, heads it back across goal, and Cooney couldn't really set himself. I'm not saying much against the keeper there. There wasn't an awful lot he could do. And in the end, it's going to look like it's a very poor performance. And I am a little bit concerned that obviously with the tough run that we've had, that confidence is starting to waver a little bit, considering the start of the season we had. Here is Palmer, trying to come down this right-hand side. Beats his man, swings it into that far post, and Weston is there. And earlier in the season, he's scoring that, realistically. And this is where I'm getting a little bit concerned. We need to just pick it up a little bit. I think we've got enough quality in the team to get out of this little rut, but at the same time, it is a little bit of a concern. We need to be making sure that we keep up doing what we're doing if we want to be in with a fight, a chance, with a chance to get into these playoffs, sorry. I will get my words out eventually. Ball played over the top again. Bakari this time with the header. Watkins picks it up, swung in toward Norkit. Lindsay glancing header away. He didn't get anything on it, really. Yestin Hughes gets it away, and Reiki fires it back in, and we are very much up against it here. And it's just not happening for us. I mean, we've played against this formation and setup before against a couple of other teams, and we've done very well and got the results. But today we've just not been at it at all, and everyone seems to be just. I mean, there's just no consistency with it at the minute. We've gone from being very confident and knocking the ball about to just flapping at it every time. And Manny Norkit's bagged the hat trick now for Boston, and it's it's looking like a very poor performance. But I mean, it was close initially in the first half, but again, defensive errors are proving very popular in this game from our perspective. The two crosses, I mean, we've got to be putting challenges in to stop the two headers. That third goal, I mean, he's finished it well, but again, we've just not been at it today. In terms of attempts at goal, I mean, Boston have bossed the game. To be quite honest, I've got no complaints. We've been thoroughly outplayed as Murray Holm finds Yestin Hughes. And again, it's a shocking pass. And Stockley doing really well to win it back, but the confidence seems to have just drained from the lads at the moment as Tony just about keeps that in. Emerson cuts inside, finds Murray Holm, and I mean, it's his first goal for the club, I think, Hayden Murray Holm. I think it might be his first professional goal, incidentally, but it's too little too late in the 91st minute. We're back to 4-2. I mean, we've shown that we are capable still, because we managed to find the back of the net a couple of times, but from a performance perspective, Boston very much deserved to win this game, and defensively, not good enough. Norkett has completely ruined us today, and I've got no complaints about it, to be honest. We've thoroughly been well and truly beaten here. Lancashire with the throw, and I mean, Lemony Evans has gone into the back of Johnson there. I mean, why he's not just stood him up, I've no idea. But it's a chance for a fourth goal now for Norkett from the penalty spot to make it 5-2. He's absolutely ruined us today, Manny Norkett. It's his 10th goal of the season, and he's bagged 4 today. So he's just had an absolute worldie of a day, and we've not been able to do anything about it. We've certainly got some thinking to do. That is for sure. A 5-2 defeat. It's the joint heaviest defeat of the season, following obviously the 4-1 defeat that we had against Kings Lynn toward the start of the season. And that is certainly not ideal. And we are still in the playoff places. Boston right up behind us now by a point. And I think if things keep up, obviously we are going to start dropping down the table. We've got to be a little bit careful as things go forward, but hopefully we can find a way. I mean, Boston's unbeaten run reaches 20 matches. They've had a very, very good season. They were just a little bit slow to start with quite a few draws there. They're in very, very good form. But we'll have to wait and see. We've got the FA Trophy game against Kettering to come next. So I'll do that off camera, and then we'll come back for the league game against Woking. Fingers crossed we can get back to winning ways, but judging by that performance, it's going to be a long episode. Okay then, guys, here we go for the home game against Woking. We did get beat by the National League Northside Kettering away from home in the FA Trophy, so we've not even been able to get back into decent form through that either. And we didn't rotate. We kept our first team out for that game. We need to try and pick up here. I'm starting to get a little bit concerned. We have actually had a bid coming for one of our players, which was actually Palmer from Yeovil for £4,500. Realistically, I think we can get double that. He wasn't that bothered about speaking to them anyway. So that has just been left as is for the time being. And we didn't get the League One job. We didn't even get an interview. So, you know, it's a very difficult situation for me now because, again, this time I have put in a request to the board again. And again, they've said no for the coaching course. So I'm still not making any progression whatsoever. And because of that, I'm not in line for any better jobs than the one I currently have. It's, yeah, it's a very, very awkward situation. And of course, the board have offered me a new contract before, a new 2-year deal, to which I've said no, because in my mind, the thing is, you can't request these things. I think when it comes to contractual negotiations, I think it could be something that you can negotiate into a new contract that the board would give the coaching course, but for whatever reason, you can't seem to do that, which is a bit of a strange one if you ask me, but there. We're trying to G the lads up today. We need a win, and of course the board are probably thinking, oh, well, we're not going to give him a coaching course because the team's in bad form, but yet they still wanted me to have a new 2-year deal. So yeah, it's all going on behind the scenes at the minute. There's no progression whatsoever with any of it, and we just need to try and sort things out a little bit on the pitch because, like I say, this is I think 8 games now without a win in League and Cup, so it's a big game this for us today as Tony gets in, and that's a lovely goal. Beccaria with the ball over the top, and Weston, I think it was just about on the volley as well, has managed to put us ahead, and it's just a case of getting that push. We just need to push through and get one good result. And I think our form could turn back in our favour a little bit. But that's a lovely finish. I mean, he's watched that come from right over his shoulder. It's a really difficult finish, that, from Tony Weston, and he's done really well to give us the lead. 7 minutes gone, and we see a little bit of positivity. And again, yes, we lost 5-2 to Boston, but we still scored a couple of goals, and yes, they deserve to win. But again, when we did go forward, we still look dangerous. It's just building that confidence up again. As Reece Ciso gets in, that's a huge miss from Akinola, but Bakari, I believe, has got a great block on that. And he's had a great start to the game with a block of astronomical proportion, realistically, and that assist. Interesting formation from Woking as well. They're very, very central, um, which could give us a little bit of room out wide with our fullbacks, but at the same time, we've got to try and stem the flow a little bit based on the team shape. They've got a lot of players available to go forward as Parker puts the delivery into the penalty area. It's cleared away to Tony Weston, and now Parker again. Chance to get it into the penalty area, and he's ended up turning away there, and it's fallen in the end for Tony, and he's hit the post, and I think offside in the end for one of them. I don't know who it was offside, whether it was Sharp or Tony, but in the end, they get it clear, and Hugh Parker plays it into Murray Home. And Tony's been brought down on the edge of the area there. There's been no foul given. And Reece Ciso looks to break forward for Woking into Allen. And now Krubali. Charlie gets the interception, finds Emerson now. He's got support in the penalty area if he can find it. And he went for glory himself. And Tony chopped into there by Oldfield. And again, no penalty. Bakari plays it forward, cleared away again. Murray Home into Charlie. And the shot is off target. But, I mean, he got slammed into there by Oldfield, and that could have very easily been a penalty. I've just noticed one of the Woking defenders is C. Okole. Surely that is not Caleb Okole, the former international. I mean, it could be, I suppose. I'll have to have a look, but surely it's not. As Ashford gets tripped up, Reece Ciso manages to latch onto it past Lindsay, and Cooney didn't need to get a hand on that. It hits the side netting. I'll have to have a look into that, because if that is Caleb Okole, you know what, I'm going to pause and have a look. Oh no, it's not. Chinwike Okole. Still a decent defender, mind. But I was looking at that. Surely it couldn't have been Caleb Okole, and I was right. It definitely wasn't. Dembele into Malachi Sharp. Now Murray Home. Bakari into Crooks. We're just knocking the ball about here, just holding on to possession a little bit and trying to just build ourselves up gradually. Emerson into Murray Home. Launches it over the top, and Tony again chasing it down. Look at the space for Parker, and there is the goal. And finally, the strikers have linked up again. It's taken a little bit of time, and we've finally seen a goal on screen from Hugh Parker again as well. It's been a little bit of time since we've seen him score in an episode, as far as I can remember. And Weston playing it in, and it's a neat finish from Hugh Parker. And we take a 2-goal advantage. Both strikers on the score sheet, and that is the important thing, is getting them both firing and linking up again. But as things stand, this could be a huge result to turn around after this dismal run of form that we've had against very good opposition, I might add, but still a very dismal run of form as Murray Home plays it into Hugh Parker. Again, well held up into Murray Home. Now Charlie into Tony. Now Emerson down this left-hand side. Charlie, great pass. Tony squares it again for Hugh Parker. And again, that was a superbly worked move, by the way, in the centre of the pitch. Considering the number of players they've got in the middle of the pitch, that was a phenomenally well-worked move. We managed to get down this left-hand side. Charlie to Emerson. Lovely pass to Tony. And again, Hugh Parker in all the time in the world, all the space, and he gets his second of the game, and Tony with an assist to match. And that's 2 assists for Tony, incidentally, now for Hugh Parker. And Tony having a really good game with a goal and 2 assists, and that's a great delivery in. Morris managing to clear. Tony picks it up. I mean, look at where he is on the pitch. That's ridiculous. Into Dembele, launched forward. Charlie manages to get to it. He keeps it in, lays it back to Lindsay, swung into the far post. Hugh Parker couldn't get there. It's fallen for Dembele. And the strike goes just wide of the post. But this is the kind of performance we needed. I'm not going to count my chickies just yet because I have seen us throw away a 3 goal lead, granted a couple of seasons ago, but I have seen us throw it away before, and we do need to just keep an eye on things at the moment. And we need to make sure that we come back with the 3 points after this very strong first half performance. And Oldfield into Tarbotton, back to Oldfield, trying to get down that left hand side. Well worked from Malachi Sharp just to force him backwards. And they're just controlling possession here for these last few seconds. And it's been launched forward there, looking for Reese, so it goes out of play. And that is going to be the end of the first half. Um, well, I thought it was. Cooney. I mean, I don't know why they're showing the highlight realistically, because the referee's going to blow his whistle any second now. And Lindsay into Emerson. Now Charlie into Lindsay. Yeah, I, it's not a key highlight, is it? Let's be honest. But a 3-0 lead at half time, a much stronger performance. And we can be very, very pleased with how we are playing. And the two strikers, finally, after quite a few games of not quite making it happen for us, they've linked up a couple of times today. And both of them on the score sheet, with Weston assisting for Hugh Parker as well. And to be fair, where Hugh Parker's concerned, obviously he is a big lad. Not seen him score too many headers. Largely, he's just been ball into feet, but he has been quite good with his feet. To be honest, he kind of reminds me of Newcastle striker Voltemada. He's quite tricky with his feet, and yes, he's good in the air, but he does still score plenty. Um, with his feet at the same time. So he's not solely a target man. He has got the abilities to be that out and out centre forward. And Parker here taking the free kick and swings it into the far post. And Malachi Sharp from distance just clips the top of the crossbar. And it was almost 4-0. We're just going to pause there for a minute, just while I have a look at the player conditions at the bottom. And to be honest, everyone seems okay. I'm not too concerned. So we'll just play on through and see the game out. It's been a bit of a quiet second half. Woking not really creating an awful lot themselves, which, considering the attacking setup that they've got with the two attacking midfielders in behind the striker, plus your standard central midfielders there as well, you'd think they'd be a little bit more dangerous, especially in the centre of the park. But we've done very well to neutralise them, it would appear. Murray home into Charlie, Parker into Emerson. And again, he's a bit of a strange one, Parker. He's not turning and getting strikes away like he should be. He's linking the play up superbly, though. And Parker with the header, just as I was saying, he's not scored many with his head. He completes his hat trick. And Jamari Lindsay with the delivery to the far post. And Hugh Parker does complete his hat trick. I'm not sure, actually, if that was a is that a perfect hat trick? I don't think it is. I think he scored the other 2 goals with his left foot. But that is a really good header. I mean, the keeper, fair play to him. He almost managed to keep that out. But a really good performance from both of our centre forwards today. They have led the line superbly. And 2 assists from 2 of our defenders, incidentally, as well. We finally get back to winning ways after that dismal run. 2 brilliant performances from Tony Weston, and Hugh Parker. And we can be extremely pleased with that. It'll just alleviate the pressure on the lads a little bit and just boost the morale again. And oh, the manager's been sacked by Woking following that game as well. It does keep us in the playoffs. I mean, realistically, we're 12 points off the pace. Morecambe don't look like they're going to be dropping points anytime soon, realistically. But, I mean, to be in this playoff mix as we are is still very, very good. And we've got a 4-point gap to 3 of the chasing pack, one of which we've got a game in handover as well. So, again, I'm pretty pleased with our position in the league. Despite that really bad run of form, I think we've done really well to maintain where we are as things stand. I think even the draws have been very important results in a couple of quite big games. A couple of players are struggling a little bit fitness-wise, so we are going to have to keep an eye on that going forward. And Weston and Parker, really good performances from the 2 of them. And we'll give a little bit of praise in there as well for Hugh Parker. You can't not give him praise after a hat trick, can you? And yeah, hopefully that gives us something to build on and get back to that winning run that we were on before we had all those games in November. In terms of up and coming matches, obviously we had Dagenham and Redbridge last time, I think, if I remember rightly. Um, to be honest, I think we'll probably get through most of January. I mean, we've not got any cup ties or anything like that. We'll probably push through and try and get in around the start of February. Probably Eastleigh, I'm looking at there, and Truro maybe. I mean, we battered Truro last time, to be fair, but yeah, I think we'll just make a big push on through now, and then obviously we can come back in and around the end of March, and then toward the end of the season, and we'll see if we can get into the playoffs. Obviously, we've just had Boston and Woking today, and that'll be the last two games of the season as well. So we'll see how things go. Obviously, if anything happens in the meantime, we may come back a little bit sooner, but that's the initial plan anyway. So we'll see how we do. So until next time, guys, thank you very much for your support. Please like, subscribe to the channel. It is all greatly appreciated. I will see you all next time. This is Big Will, signing away.